Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, but Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers, Season 3, Episode 17, Two for Tina, and Episode 18, It Snakes a Village. We always start off with our synopsis, so here's your synopsis for Episode 17, Two for Tina. Tina is attending her first school dance. She hopes Jimmy Jr. will be her date, but he wants to keep his options open. Tina runs into Josh, the boy she met at Fresh Feed. He attends the fine art school as a dancer and asks her to his school's upcoming dance. Tina has decided between two crushes. Tina has to decide between two crushes. Jimmy Jr. gets jealous and tries to woo Tina into being his date with the assistance of Louise and Jean. It all ends at the other school's dance where Josh and Jimmy Jr. dance fight over Tina. She tries her luck in having both boys, but they aren't open to that kind of relationship. Bob has never attended a dance, so Linda volunteers them to chaperone the school dance, giving him the middle school dance experience he never had. They get drunk and eventually get kicked out of the dance.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. So we always start off with our puns for each episode. What did you get for the vacant storefront?
We have Fern Baby Fern, discount fern store.
For burn, baby, burn, and I'm curious. No wonder this store doesn't work because if you're only selling ferns,
And discount ferns at that.
yeah.
I'm sure if you've got an office, people want that kind of small foliage, I guess. I don't know.
Small foliage. That's a new one.
I'm
What
full of
did you,
them.
what did you get for the pest control truck?
Vermin's Head Pest Control.
So that's a play on a title of a 90s TV series, Herman's Head.
Oh, okay.
I don't I don't know about that one. And how
Would
many
not have gotten that.
burger? Yeah, how many burgers of the day?
I only got one.
There's only one.
Okay, it's the chili relleno you didn't burger.
Play on. Oh no, you didn't. So we have a few of our guest stars. We've got Ben Schwartz back as Josh. Gabe Leidman plays Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
And Wendy Molyneux is Jen, and that's our babysitter. Jen continues to come
Mm-hmm.
back. I think we
Okay.
see Josh and Douglas again, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
just one other episode. It's not like they're all the time. But
Okay.
Josh is the one that is the
Mm-hmm.
boy from the dairy fridge that Tina met at Fresh Feed. And that was from L'Independent Woman. Um, he wears the same outfit from L'Independent Woman, and he's still very much him. Like, but they just, of course, he's a dancer. So
Yeah.
the song Jimmy Jr. serenades Tina with is a parody of Love by Nat King Cole.
I love that song. Like, I
It's
love
a
the
good
original
song.
song. I love the original song, not so much the song about asthma.
Yeah, that was a choice.
Yeah.
So, did you hear the mention of Little King Trashmouth?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Little King Trashmouth is mentioned in this episode, but you're not going to
Hmm.
actually meet Little King Trashmouth until season 4 in the episode Slumber Party.
Okay.
And I think Little King Trashmouth and his relatives are probably like my favorite
Hmm.
like characters in Bob's Burgers. They're
Okay.
um they're raccoons.
Oh, okay.
So Linda has an obsession with the alley raccoons.
Gotcha.
You have that to look forward to in the coming
That's
season.
on. Yeah, that's on brand.
That's on brand. And I'm sure you picked up on that with the whole Jimmy Jr. and Josh dance off. Dance of the Plum Fairy was the song that was of choice for Josh.
Yeah, that was a good remix when they did like the rapid
Mm-hmm.
fire when it was like back and forth. That was a good remix of Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies.
Oh,
To
it
be
was
quite
wonderful. I
honest,
actually really love that one.
it's catchy.
And then the last note I have is just Louise's use of the phrase "a nerd in the hand is worth" is a reference to the proverb "a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush."
Yeah, I would agree. A nerd in the hand is worth not much. Not
So
much.
Louise is very intelligent. Like the more we see her, she's got like this
Oh yeah.
criminal mob boss thing kind of going, but she's very intelligent. It's a little scary.
Well, it's funny that you say that because after what was it? It was this. I think it was this episode where Tina said something and she went, "Can you say that again for our website?" And then they went, "Can also Tina, can you make us a website?"
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have a ton of notes for this one. But what did
Hmm.
you think of Tina's escapades with polyamory?
It was interesting. I mean, it's on brand for her to just be like, "Well, how about we just all of it?" And they're like, "No, maybe not," because
Who
it's
needs a love triangle?
that's always my thing is, and because we're gonna be really technical here, a love triangle would imply that there was a connection between Josh and Jimmy Jr. So let's be this is more
You're right. You're
this,
right.
but like this is like the love triangle is what everyone uses because that's the phrasing that we have. I think people are trying to make like love corner or love hinge work because that's two pieces, but the
I like
others
Hinge.
like hinge. Well,
Hinge
because
is funny.
hinge is good, but hinge is also the polyamory term when you've got a dynamic that
Yeah.
has three people and there's one person that's dating two of them, but the other two aren't dating each other. That person in the middle is called the hinge, so it works.
My
Like, is that
escapades of polyamory have been some time. So
so? Like that's like it's. I think that's a better term personally, but that's what I choose to use that. To people don't.
Mhm.
It is what it is. It involves consent of all parties and good on the boys for being like, yeah, I'm good. No, thank you. I think the dance off might have been a bit much. This one was a lot of toxic masculinity in the form of
Mhm.
someone wants you, therefore now I want you. And I'm like, I know we're 13, 14-year-old boys, but like, no. Although I will say this time, I know you told me that H. John Benjamin plays Jimmy Jr.
Yes.
Even though like I knew it, I still wasn't hearing it in this episode. Like was when I was like, oh, that is definitely him.
Yeah, you can hear it a lot more, I think, in this episode.
Yeah.
Um I have this like hate for Jimmy Jr. though
Oh, he's an
because
asshole.
he's an asshole. He's always doing this to Tina
Mm-hmm.
because I wrote down like how is Jimmy Jr. surprised she chose Josh? You can't be surprised on that if you're like I'm going to keep my options open. Like you're
No, she deserves the person that said yes the first time.
exactly. And I agreed with Bob throughout this. I'm like, "Oh yeah, tell her Bob, like be there for your kid." I
Yeah,
loved that.
absolutely.
Um so that was definitely interesting.
Yeah. I know the joke of, don't put things down your dance pants that like you want to keep. As someone
Mhm.
who I was a dancer for 14 years.
Same.
Not I mean not well, but like but like I remember like especially cuz the last 9 years I did hip hop. Don't ask me why.
I think I danced for like 6 or 7 years as a kid.
Mhm.
Like I didn't go
Yeah.
into like high school doing it, but I was still very much like I still can do half of it. So yeah, I definitely tights are not where you
Yeah,
put things.
no, like I say when I say 14 years like from the age of like 3 to 17.
Exactly, yeah.
But like so when I did hip hop, I did have I had designated dance pants. Mine weren't tights because it was hip hop, so they were more like I just kind of used the pants for my costumes from previous recitals in class. But it helped with a nice silhouette because or just get used to like the movement because we pretty much wore the same kind of pants every year, so you got used to the movement with that type of
Okay, I have
pants.
to see when it is because you are going to get to see an episode that surrounds hip hop.
Oh really? I wasn't good. Like I was a 17-year-old. Like I really I will say this, I wasn't good and like I want to say like I mean I kept doing it because it was fun. I went to the same I guess I said I went to the same dance school for 14 years. Like looking back on it, I absolutely had a crush on my teacher.
Of course.
Like looking back on it. If you're listening to this, hi Carrie. Um I don't think she knows that this exists.
So I'm trying to
But
figure out where this episode is so I can be like,
that's fine.
"Oh man, it's not till season 7."
Okay.
Damn. It's so
We got
good.
time. But yeah, so that's my experience with dance pants is but still like definitely don't put anything in them that you want to keep.
No, they're not going to last.
No.
They're going to disappear.
Absolutely. My dance pants had pockets too cuz they were basically just very like thin material cargo pants.
My tights did not have pockets.
No, they usually don't.
You can't get really anything down the tights when you're wearing the tights under your leotard. So there was
No.
no yeah.
We had one costume that was truly horrendous. Like and like hip hop for the most time, most of them were just the baggy pants and some kind of top. Like they
Mhm.
weren't too complicated, but for whatever reason, it was the regular black pants and then the top rather than just being a shirt was a bodysuit, but the bodysuit was primarily made out of like a sheer red material with like a black bandeau and then we had a red shrug to go over the top of it that like went down and had like thumb holes. I'll send you a picture of it. I'm not
Okay.
this is not being spread amongst the internet. It, none of us looked good in it.
I can't wait to see this actually. This will be funny. I appreciate this. What other fun notes have you written down for Tina?
I was documenting the experience of Bob going to his first middle school dance because the girl rebuffing his advances like at the door, not okay.
Not okay.
Definitely not okay. But I wrote down at one point, I'm like, this feel when Linda was saying the thing about the teacher being attractive, I'm like, this feels like a trick. Or Linda is trying to give him the full middle school experience, complete with girls going crazy jealous for no reason, which is exactly what
It's
happened.
exactly what she was doing.
Which I appreciate. Like we all remember like something like this happening where like the girl will insist, "You like her, don't you?" And like, "No, I don't." And then they just storm off and you know talk to their friends in the bathroom.
I will say early 2000s middle school dances were not like
Mm-hmm.
that for me though. They were
Uh-huh.
very different from what we just watched.
Oh yeah. I think well my middle school there was an 8th grade dance up until a couple years before I got to the 8th grade.
Mhm.
And then they switched it to a carnival, so we didn't really have dances. Like there was like the high school had homecoming, but no one really went to it. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't really a big deal in my high school. Like the only big deal dances I would say were junior prom and senior prom. And I went to both of those with a friend of mine. Um like there wasn't really drama, at least not in my friend group, because none of us really had dates that like
Yeah.
we were like romantically with. I went with my best friend, and we both ended up gay.
I went to 3 or 4 military balls because
Okay.
ROTC. I went to
Hmm.
3 proms.
Mm,
Well, my brother was a senior when I was a freshman, and so, like, all
okay.
of his friends were like, "Oh, we've met little Katie. She's now our friend." And I didn't actually have a lot of, like, friends my age at the time.
Yeah.
All my friends were seniors, which was very interesting. So they
Hmm.
brought me to the prom with them, which was funny because my
Okay.
brother didn't go. And then sophomore year, it happened again. I think I was dating a junior or a senior, and so they took me with them. And then junior
Mm,
year, it was my year to finally go. So I
hmm.
went, and then senior year, I was like, I've been to 3. I'm not going.
I will say I think there was more, and like it's not technically a dance, but it's a party with a lot of
Mhm.
middle school aged people. Um, is the bar and bat mitzvah circuit? I think if anything, there was more
Ah,
drama. There was a lot of drama there because there weren't that many of us. So like if there was any drama at all, because even then people would bring in like their friends from like their schools because we didn't all go because like our temple, not everyone that went there went to the same schools. Like we were
yeah.
like kind of one temple for like a bunch of different like a bunch of different areas. So like there was like maybe I think 50, like 20 people in my class that we all kind of went to each other's bar and bat mitzvahs. And there was not a lot of drama, but there was enough drama that it was interesting.
I wrote, Louise does nothing for free.
No, nothing, which is smart.
Nothing for free. But I did also love the line, teenagers are fickle.
I mean, they are.
They are.
It's in the description.
And I don't, when it comes to schnapps, I don't think I would personally mix peach and mint, but it doesn't sound horrible.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't personally mix peach schnapps with peppermint schnapps. Peppermint schnapps in hot chocolate is delicious
Yes, it is.
if you're over the age of 21.
Yes, please be over the age of 21. All right. I get to ask, what did you rate this?
So the toxic masculinity was a bit much for me with this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I did give it a 7 for personal because, like, I get it. They're 13-year-old boys. Like, this is what I can't fault them for this is what you expect out of their age bracket.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I have to enjoy it. So it did lose a few points for that. I gave it an 8 for plot. I think it was pretty solid. The ones I noticed with Tina tend to do like that focus on Tina tend to do worse than others. I think even though I like the whole core family, I think she might be my least favorite. Weirdly
Which is
enough,
so funny.
um, I know because considering we thought it was going to be Jean, we were wrong. So I do think that's why it maybe lost a point or two. I think it gained. It may have lost a few points for that, but then gained a couple because of Bob and Linda being really
That's
funny.
fair because I loved their storyline in this one.
They were perfect. They were, and I don't disagree with them that it makes no sense that they're going to chaperone a dance that their daughter isn't
Exactly.
at. Like they shouldn't be there, but
That's
that's
beside
beside
the
the
point.
point. And I gave it a 9 for character. So this one got 24, which is a
We
solid
tend to
episode.
always be a point off from each other lately, and it's really funny to me
Oh,
because I
really?
gave it
Oh,
an 8
that's
for
funny.
plot because I like the storyline. I think it's funny. I'm with you on the toxic masculinity. Character got 9, and that's only because Jimmy Jr. is a dick. Like, it's the best way I could say
Yeah,
it.
I mean
Like,
he
I don't.
is. I mean, that's totally fair. He
Like,
is.
him, the way he is in this episode, I was like, I liked everybody else except Jimmy Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And personal,
Yeah.
I gave it an 8. So this is a 25. So
Okay.
it's not terrible, but like Jimmy Jr.
It's a lot of Jimmy Jr. And like, I weirdly enough, I'll give Zeke props. The trying to get Tina's attention with the wrestling, like he was
Mm-hmm.
trying. He wasn't trying that hard, but I honestly I liked him. I liked him more than I liked Jimmy Jr. in this situation. I also still don't really like Zeke that
Zeke,
much.
I think, gets better. But
Okay,
he's not
that's
pooping on everything now, at least.
that's good.
It's a step up. It's a
It is
tiny
a step
step.
up.
It's a tiny step.
The
But it's a
bar is
step
low.
up. The bar
The
is
bar
so
is
low.
very low. The bar is basically in the sewer. But
All right. Are you ready to talk about episode 18? It's Snakes of Village.
oh, you have no idea.
Lauren's been waiting for this for a long time, but I'm going to give you the synopsis. The restaurant is being fumigated, so the family travels down to Florida to visit Linda's parents. Linda and Bob find out very quickly that their retirement home isn't like others. There is a requirement that all who live there take place in swinging gatherings. If you don't take part, you can be evicted. The kids get excited to swim in the pool, only for it to be closed for cleaning. They meet an odd lady who can't find Bitsy, her small dog, who she thinks was eaten by a snake. Gene is terrified of snakes, but helps his sister find Bitsy for a prize and faces his fears. Bob helps Linda's dad get past his anxiety of swinging, and they attend a gathering, keeping their spot in the retirement home. As always, I'm so scared of what Lauren's going to do, but let's start off with these puns. First, it's going to be funny. But what did you get for the vacant storefront?
I got miles of vials.
And then there's a vial-shaped sign that says "open" on the front. And we have, I think you're going to like this pest control truck.
Oh yeah, it's Mouse Ado About Nothing Exterminators, which is a pun off of Much Ado About Nothing, which is my favorite Shakespearean comedy.
Oh, that's awesome. See, I knew you'd like it.
Yeah.
I have to say it, but this is the first episode. There is no burger of the day because they're in Florida.
Burgers. Yeah, there were no burgers because they were getting fumigated.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to give you some fun facts.
Okay.
And then you get to yell at me.
Yay. Well, not at you.
Well, not at me. So
in general.
In general. The title of this play is a play on the phrase "It takes a village to raise a child," which I found pretty funny with the whole like premise of the episode.
Yeah.
This is the second appearance of Linda's parents, Gloria and Al. Mm-hmm. The personalities are not entirely the different, like, to me in the episode, but I guess like they're still Gloria and Al, but they're still sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first episode where Gail's studio apartment is mentioned.
Okay.
You will get to see it one day.
Oh, joy.
And remember, she has cats. So.
Yeah.
So Linda Lavin guest voiced Helen Kellerman in this episode. Lavin was previously mentioned earlier in season 3 as a fan of Grazielda figurines in My Fuzzy Valentine.
Oh, okay.
And, oh man, I'm so sorry. The couple who serve Gloria and Al with the notice of failure to perform can be seen going to the potluck with the husband wearing a dog collar and the wife pulling him along with a leash.
Oh, lovely.
I have a lovely thing to show you as well. In your notes, you already you're so this website, the woman inflates a balloon and sits on it and pops it.com, which Al mentions was created especially for this episode.
Oh dear.
I'm not going to tell you what it is. Just click on it.
Oh god. the things I do for this podcast. Okay. Oh.
And I will put this in the show
whatever
notes.
This is, why is this 23 seconds?
It's more like a gift than anything.
Oh dear God. Why does this exist?
This was created specifically because of this.
I'm sure. But okay, so you lied to me when we looked at it before. You said it's not what you think. This is exactly what I thought it was.
I had to surprise you somehow. For anyone interested,
I hate it.
I will put this in the show notes. But this is the website that Al mentions, and it was created for this episode. It solely consists of an embedded YouTube video of Al giving Gloria individual balloons to pop by sitting on them. They are dressed. Let me go there.
Yes.
They
Thank
are
God.
dressed in the video, but that's literally all it is.
I was so nice to you this week. You got to watch 2 episodes of Once Upon a Time, and you give me this.
You're welcome.
Fine.
You're gonna have great dreams tonight.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez.
I can't wait to hear about them tomorrow.
What have I gotten myself into?
And you're deep now. This is episode like 42.
Yeah, this is episode 42. Yeah.
So you're in deep.
Yeah.
There's no getting out.
No, the only way out is up.
Okay, so my last note is this is confirmed on the wiki. I will start with the fact that this was a debate that I have been a part of myself over the years. I have seen this debate many times. People used to debate. I don't know if they still do, but people used to debate where the Belchers are from. This episode verifies they are from New Jersey, shown on the map that you get to see when they're leaving. Which Lauren apparently has some feelings about.
Lauren does have feelings about this, because when you told me originally that there was debates about them, I figured maybe the map was like far away, so it was hard to tell, or there were no state divider lines, so like, you know, it kind of could be anywhere, kind of in the New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania kind of area. I thought maybe it would be ambiguous. It's not ambiguous. Like I wrote down, that's not an ambiguous map. That's New Jersey. For whatever reason, they decided that Long Island is the same color as New Jersey, but that is unequivocally New Jersey. Like I thought maybe it would be a little more ambiguous of like maybe where it is on the Eastern Seaboard, so it could be like my New England, New Jersey thing. It's not. So anyone that doesn't think it's New Jersey, I'm sorry. Please, I don't know, sue your geography teacher because they didn't teach you correctly.
I've seen people say it's Maryland.
It's not Maryland.
Seen people say
Delaware is in between them. Delaware is in between New Jersey and Maryland.
Like I've seen so many, like,
because the first
theories.
Dot, if you're just following the car, maybe I could consider that ambiguous. The very first dot, to be fair, it's not on the Jersey Shore. It's like middle of New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's like middle of the state. But still, the first dot is very much on New Jersey. So for anyone listening who's thought it isn't New Jersey, please look at a map. Any map.
Oh, God.
I beg of you. Any map that has state lines.
And these debates were, like, I remember watching this show years ago, because we're on the 14th season as we record this. We just watched the 14th. We did have a Christmas episode. They didn't really have a Halloween, Thanksgiving, but they did give us Christmas.
Okay.
Which it was good. But so I was probably having this debate 6 years ago.
Yeah. Like
so
I will
it's
admit
been time.
I will admit I might not, maybe my American geography education is better than others. I mean, this is also my area of the country. I'm from that general state area. I remember I had a puzzle when I was a kid that was like all of the 50. That was the 50 states. You kind of put them all together.
My kids have that.
So
they have a big one and a little one.
Yeah. So I understand the geography. I can identify, I would say, 100% of our states by shape. There was a map on my playground in elementary school. Not the front play, not the good playground, the medium playground. We had 3. One of them was literally just the parking lot, but the one that was like decent, it had a painted version of the map.
That's really cool.
On the blacktop. And for whatever reason, my best friend and I would play a game where I would tell her to get me a random item from some state and then meet me somewhere else, just literally as practice. That's what we would do, is practice.
That's adorable.
That was what we did in 4th grade.
That's so, like literally my child's age, so she can't tell you all the states though.
That's fair. But so I will admit my knowledge of geography may be better than most, but that is not an ambiguous map. I'm sorry. I will say that there is room for interpretation. That map is not ambiguous.
You know what that makes me think of though?
What?
The Friends episode where they play the game of like you have so much time to write down all 50 states, and Ross is missing like 2 or 3, and he spends the entire evening trying to figure out what states he's missing. So I'm just like,
I mean, as
not everybody. Sorry,
go ahead. Not everyone. What?
Not everybody has the same geography knowledge.
This is true. I mean, as we've established, I do have the Animaniacs 50 States and Capitals song memorized for 22 years.
You are not the average human being.
My brain is weird.
It's a good weird.
It's a good weird. I'm working on the World According to Yakko, because I think if I can do that one, that one's actually impressive. I don't
They're
consider that one I consider to be more impressive than the 50 Cities and Capitals personally.
okay, but the other one's impressive too. I can't do that.
I've listened to it a lot. It's on Spotify. Just put it on a loop. You'll internalize it eventually.
I have children. I'm listening to Bluey most of the time. Or PBS. I know all the theme songs. I know Daniel Tiger. I know Bluey. I know all the theme songs to different shows. Blue's Clues.
Oh, Blue's Clues.
It's different now.
I've learned that now whenever I grab a package from the front door, I sing like we just got a package, but like no, we just got a letter, but I sing it to myself, but we just got a package, even if the package isn't for me.
You're in your late 20s. I absolutely love this.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't know where that came from. That's only started recently.
Well, it came from Blue's Clues.
Well, I know it came from Blue's Clues, but like why I started doing that. I mean, because up until now I've worked from home part of the time. But I guess I don't know. Now that I'm home all the time, now my brain chemistry has changed. I don't know.
I have to say I do love that you think, I don't know why this has started, yet you have befriended a mother of 2 children.
But we haven't talked about Blue's Clues.
You may have been hearing it subconsciously in the background.
Subconsciously.
I don't know.
Maybe
you've heard it enough, like, in the background when you're talking to me that you're like, oh yeah, that still exists.
I think what's more likely is there's a TikTok sound that I just got some book mail. I just got some book mail.
Oh yeah.
I think that more likely than anything else. The Animaniacs is just I have put it on TikTok for that one person's thing that was like, what's something that you have memorized? And I'm like,
you tagged me in it.
Here you go. Well, because you asked. Well, because you wanted it recorded for posterity. Because the time that it came up with the episode, that was with the Belchies. I refused to do it on the podcast.
I will say, as soon as we finished recording that episode, while still sitting here talking, Lauren did that immediately. Like, well, it was amazing.
I felt the need to prove myself. It's still not coming. It's still not going on the podcast.
That's fair, but it's on the internet. So if
no
you
one
need
needs
to
hear
see
me
it,
sing that.
go find Lauren's personal bookish TikTok. It is on there. But yeah, what notes do you have?
besides the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
I know that. I know all those songs too.
I'm sorry. I have one more tangent, then I'll go back to my notes.
That's fine.
Because the funniest thing about that, I don't know. Have you seen anything by the comedian Brian Regan?
Maybe.
He's not one of the most popular comedians. Like something I think people say about him is he's your favorite comedian's favorite comedian a lot of the time. He was one that my friends and I loved a lot in high school, and he had one special, and he, when his kids were little, he watched a lot of stuff like Blue's Clues, Dora the Explorer, and he was like, can you imagine what the pitch meeting for that I'm the Map song was? He's just like, so I hear you have a song for us. Like, yes I do. And then just start singing, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map. Like, it's just like that. It's off the cuff. And which is
that's gotta be, I didn't prepare for today's work day. I did not do my homework. So this is what you get.
Literally. And it worked. I'm sure someone put thought into it, but like, how much thought could you possibly have put into it?
And it is stuck in all millennials' heads.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But yes, so what did you think of It Snakes a Village?
So I did clock that this was going to be a swingers thing literally immediately when they said we have a potluck, and they're like, oh, we'll come, and they went no, and I wrote down, why do I get the feeling that the potluck is a swingers party? So I figured that out immediately.
I remember watching, I think it was back to talking about Scrubs. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a whole Scrubs episode about how people who are older are more likely to be adventurous, and because of that, like, different, like, medical things are higher within the elder community because of it. And I'm just like, this does not surprise me at all.
No. And, like, I don't disagree with Gloria. Like, they wanted to live in a community where people kind of weren't just sitting around waiting to die. Mm-hmm. Like, it does make sense that they would want to be in that. Yeah, it makes sense they'd want to be in that kind of area. Although not as profound. When I think it was Gene that said Florida is our most penis-shaped state. That just reminded me of a Simpsons episode where, for whatever reason, they had to look at what states they weren't banned in, and one of the options was Florida. And Homer just goes, "Florida, that's America's Wang."
Jesus,
not wrong.
Not wrong. It did feel on par for Florida, though. The entire
I mean,
situation of Bitsy and the snake and a swinging community. I'm like, yeah, this sounds
yeah.
like Florida.
Yeah, I would agree. This sounds like Florida. So I did actually do a little bit of an analysis of our family, because when Gene said he'd just hang back and kind of be like this, like the hacker guy in the background, first I wrote down, if Gene is our smart guy of this 5-man band, then we are all doomed. But then I was like, let me actually figure out who they would all be in the 5-man band trope.
Oh my
Um,
god.
because every once in a while I bring in some. I like to bring in some literary theory. If anyone hasn't seen the YouTube series Trope Talks, it's I think. Oh, what is the YouTube channel?
I
Oh no,
haven't seen it, so can you
it's a
send that
it's
to me?
it's a YouTube series. They've been doing them for years. Like there's plenty of
Okay.
videos to do. They'll go through tropes in popular fiction. They usually, most of the examples they'll use are cartoons and anime. Sometimes they'll use fantasy TV shows if it fits, but usually it's like cartoons and anime. I think I want to make sure I want to make sure that I get the I want to make sure I get the YouTube channel right. So Overly Sarcastic Productions, they have a series that they it's Trope Talks.
Mhm.
Like you can watch them, you can just listen to them as podcasts, honestly, because they show visuals or they show graphs, but like for the most part, it's just them with like a kind of like a basic animation with their images. Let me see how many Trope Talks they
Okay.
actually have. They have a lot. They do a whole bunch of series, but that's mine and my friend's favorite series. Yeah, Trope Talks has 87 videos, so it's they've been doing them for years, because they've been doing them, I want to say, since we were in college.
That's great for when I'm cleaning though, and I just want to turn something on that's
Yeah,
not us.
this is true. I listen to us while I
'Cause
cook a lot.
yeah, just so you know, guys, we do listen to our
Of
own
course we do. Well,
podcasts.
for a while we were the only ones that could listen to our own podcast, because we had them
True.
uploaded to our our RSS feed. They just weren't published for everybody else to listen to, but we could listen to them because that's how we make sure that like they sound okay.
That is
But
true.
so one of the tropes that they do in one of their earlier videos, because this is from when I was watching them fairly religiously, was the 5-man band, which is not it's not specific to 5 people, because you can have like you can have multiple people kind of fulfilling the same role. You
Mhm.
can also have one person fill multiple roles in a smaller group. But the 5-man band is usually your leader, your lancer, who is
Mhm.
predominantly just they're the foil or the opposite, you'd say, to your leader. So in the case that they think the example they use is like, if your leader uses a sword, then your lancer probably uses a bow and arrow, because like they have, because your
Yeah.
leader is like more upfront with their fighting, and your lancer is going to be like more in the back, kind of thing. So sorry, it's your leader, your leader, your lancer, your heart, which is sometimes just referred to as the girl, which is not great, but it's usually like in less feminist fiction, it's usually the one woman in your group, but it's the person who tends to bring on
No.
like the emotional like parts of things. Like I can also, like, for the Once Upon a Time, like
Okay.
when I say the Once Upon a Time grouping has their 5-man band, you haven't met one of the characters yet, but their 5-man band takes until like season 3 to really kind of come together.
Okay.
Then you have your smart guy and you have your tank. So, and your tank is just kind of like your
Yeah.
person who, like, your person who's gonna like be like the rest of your muscle, basically. Um,
I know what a tank is, but it's probably still good to
yeah, I'm trying to explain for everybody else. If everybody
explain.
else doesn't play D&D,
Yeah.
so
Say, I know what that
yeah.
is.
So for the Belchers, this was my very brief analysis of this. Because I think you could kind of flip 2 of mine. I'm not really. I'm still
Mhm.
kind of working on it a little bit. Um, with Bob as your leader, Louise as your lancer, Gene as our smart guy, and then these are the 2 that I kind of flip back and forth on. I went with Linda as the heart and Tina as the tank, but you can kind of go either way with them, I would say.
I personally feel like Linda's the
Yeah,
tank, but I know Linda
yeah,
better.
that's fair. So yeah, let's put Linda as the tank and Tina as the heart, which I think is a perfect.
Send this to me though, so
I'll
I
send
can make
I
something out of
yes,
this.
I'll send you the video specifically, as well as the entire playlist.
Because like I would love to. Well, not
Oh,
just
just
that. Like
my
I'd love
thing.
to
Okay,
make something out of that and like have
our
a
5-man
visual.
band.
Our 5-man band with the
Yeah.
Belchers. Like I think it'd be really fun to make something with
Mm-hmm.
that.
But yeah, but like, I mean, it makes sense, especially for 5 people. Like, I mean, that's a trope that works really well for a lot of adventures, for a lot of adventure stories. Like, if you think about like Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's pretty much that's Team Avatar right there, with
Mhm.
with Aang as leader, Katara as the heart, Sokka as a smart guy, Toph as the tank, and Zuko as the lancer. Like, that's like it works really well because it's a really well balanced group with a lot of different skills. In this case, it's character tropes that the whole family tends to fill out. I was very happy to see that Bitsy was alive, though.
Yes, Bitsy is alive, and I do
Yes.
not run. I don't blame Bitsy for running away.
No, not at all. And I'm very happy that Bitsy and the Python are somewhere out into the forest and in love, apparently.
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 I do relate with Jean. I don't like snakes either, and
No.
all my child has done lately is try to convince me to let her get a pet snake, and I'm like, I love you so much, but I am not putting one of my biggest fears in my house.
No, I'm good.
I'm like, when you're 18 and you maybe live on your own because yay, this economy,
Yeah.
you go right ahead.
Yeah.
This time at 9 years old, nope,
Uh-uh.
nope.
Not today.
Well, at her last homeschool program, they brought snakes out
Mm-hmm.
to show them where we do her program.
Mm-hmm.
So and they of course were like, do you have any questions? And my daughter's like, well, can you buy a ball python? Where do you buy ball pythons? What do you feed them? How often do you feed them? What do they live in?
Child, you're not getting a snake for Christmas.
I'm sitting next to this kid like, shut up. Shut up. Please shut up. You're not getting one. You keep asking these questions, but it's not happening. So then the like educators are like, yes, it's a great pet. You should get it for her. And I'm like, I hate all of you.
No.
Stop. It's not happening.
Nope. It's a whole. I've never been a snake person ever.
Mm-mm.
Like when given the option at like petting zoos, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I can watch from here. Y'all have fun.
Yeah, I back up and I'm like, y'all have fun with that. I'm good.
Yeah.
How much did you enjoy like Bob's enjoyment of the whole situation? Bob was having a wonderful time.
He was. Well, because he was he was also doing everything he could to make sure that obviously the in-laws do not move into their apartment, which is perfectly reasonable. But I think he might have been enjoying it a little too much because Linda just was so disgusted by it.
But like he also had he was also standing there with, oh, the red wine goes really good with the white wine. So I relate.
Right.
But also
yeah. He was making the best of a bad situation. Yeah, he was making the best of a bad situation because he didn't want to be there anyway.
So, but I'm really glad he did try to help at least.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna make the best out of a bad situation while you're down there, make sure that they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
And right when we were starting, I was looking up to see if these kinds of community bylaws where you have to participate in community events in order to live there are a thing. I do think like these 55 plus communities probably have their own bylaws that can quite literally be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I was finding. I wasn't finding anything saying that like these kinds of like regulations are illegal. I feel like having regulations where you have to go to a sex party, I think that's probably illegal.
I think that's probably illegal. But this is Florida.
It's true, it is Florida.
It's Florida, so
there's that.
So I will say we don't kink shame here. We don't.
No, we do not.
We do not kink shame here. But popping balloons is definitely interesting and new to me.
It wasn't as odd to me.
Okay.
I don't really know why.
You're just like, okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody has their thing.
Exactly. Like, just because it isn't for me doesn't mean it can't be for somebody else.
Exactly. See, and that's why I was like, I'm going to say we don't kink shame here.
As long as everyone involved is a consenting adult, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. I just felt weird, though, a little bit, though, with that whole dynamic of, like, we chose to live here. It's less expensive. People are active, but we're really unsure about participating. I'm glad that they enjoyed themselves and did get to participate. But at the same time, I was kind of like, this feels a little...
Yeah.
I don't know how much I like that part.
Yeah,
that makes consent kind of weird.
The expectation of participation is what makes it feel less good.
Mm-hmm. It's not the kink. It's the consent.
It's the consent issue.
What other notes do you have?
Oh, this was funny. I was gonna say I don't really have that many. I don't really have that many others other than like please no with the snake. But television taught me that quicksand was going to be a much bigger threat in life than it actually is.
It did, and it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, like it's not. You're not going to sink immediately. You're not going to go from like standing upright to like chest deep within 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But also just like maybe this is just certain areas of the country. It really. To look at children's cartoons of the late 90s and early 2000s, there's quicksand everywhere apparently, and that's just
and it was deadly.
And it's deadly. That's not really how quicksand works. It's really only in specific climate areas.
And then, like, on top of that, too, I've seen other videos before since, being a kid. It's like if you move your body a certain way or do something, you can get out of it.
Yeah,
It's actually not like you're not stuck forever. You can get out of it.
exactly.
And so it's just like, yeah, quicksand was not actually the problem we thought it was going to be. Same as,
Hmm.
Dare and all they taught us about drugs and all these things. And I'm
Yeah.
like, my childhood's a lie.
Yeah. In case anyone's curious, there is quicksand in Florida.
Oh, there is. Nice.
Yeah.
And that's not me being unprepared. That's just me not even thinking to Google that.
No, this is fine. If anyone listens to the Once Upon a Time episodes, I Google the weirdest stuff for our podcast because I've taught us about birds and wolves and mining.
I gave you a link of someone popping balloons under their butt. So I think I think we're on par together with that one.
I think so.
So what did you rate this?
So this one did a little bit better than the last one, I think, because it was more well balanced with all the characters. I gave it a 10 for plot because, quite frankly, this was chaos from beginning to end.
Yay!
And it was great. And it got an 8 for character and an 8 for personal. So this one got a 26 out of
That's
30,
amazing.
which is a really good score. It was. I mean, I was very happy to get the map and just be like, this is New Jersey. There's no argument.
There's no debate.
There's no debate. This is New Jersey.
You now get to go forward without being like, I think this is New England. I think this is New Jersey. You now know it's New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop with my my markers for certain areas. Although I stand by a Lobster Fest still makes more sense for New England, but that's beside the point.
They do seem to pull in some like New England style,
Yeah,
like themes and
Mhm.
stuff. Because Lobster Fest happens every year, and they have other things that happen. But like, yeah, it's very much New Jersey.
yeah. Now, like all my saying of like a lot of these things are New Jersey stereotypes. Like they
Mm-hmm.
really are.
And they've never and I know just New Jersey is a lot of Italian individuals.
Yeah.
And they never really like on the podcast say that the Belchers are Italian, but they
Mhm.
look Italian, which I think
Yeah.
is so funny with having Pesto across the street,
Yeah.
who is not Italian.
No, he is not.
So I gave this 8s across the board.
Okay.
It's a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's snakes. I find Bitsy's owner, I can't remember her name right now. Helen Kellerman. I find her annoying.
Mhm.
Very,
Yeah.
very annoying. Not a huge fan of the consent issues.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Because it did, like, I get that they signed this policy and they moved in knowing they had to do it, but like, it's still kind of like, that really sucks to feel pressured.
It's the fact that you need to sign that in order to live there. I'm just like, that's
Yeah.
no.
And I get, and then of course it's discounted essentially, like compared to other retirement homes. And I'm like, retirement homes are not inexpensive. Like, those communities are not cheap.
No.
And they're getting more expensive.
Yes, they are.
So, like, it's a good plot. It's a good story. It's good.
Yeah, it is.
Just open up that video again and enjoy yourself.
Oh, I won't be doing that. Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 201, Broken. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. And follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and TikTok.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.